laki yang selama ini aku cintai ternyata tidak sesuai apa yang aku harapkan.
Siapa kamu? Kulit putih, lumba-lumba, biasa nyong.
Tekadku sudah bulat untuk merubah semua hinaan.
Apa yang jadi milikmu bakal jadi milikku.
Jagal Teluh.
At the beginning of the movie, someone pulls a woman's body from her grave and cuts her hair with scissors. The scene then cuts to a man named Aldo, who is shown with his daughter. It's established that he has a loving family and is very happy with his wife and child. At that moment, a woman named Mahira is seen watching them from a distance. She thinks to herself, "The man I've loved all this time isn't who I thought he was. Someone else loves him more than I do." Just then, Aldo notices Mahira and goes outside to meet her, but by the time he gets there, she's already gone. Meanwhile, two gravediggers notice that one of the graves has been dug up and the body is missing. They begin searching for it and eventually spot the body, then rush off to inform the village chief. The scene shifts to Seda, a woman with a disfigured face on one side. People react strangely when they see her. Then we see a man named Audit riding a bike when Seda suddenly steps into his path. Audit angrily scolds her, but she apologizes and says, "I'm happy to have met you." Mocking her, Audit replies, "I know you like me, but look at your ugly face. You disgust me. You should understand who I am and who you are." Then he rides off. Mahira is then seen walking through the village, ignoring a villager who tries to speak to her. She then overhears them talking about her, saying that Seda's entire family, including her relatives, has always been strange. When Mahira reaches home, Seda asks if she met Aldo. Mahira replies, "Yes, but I'll talk about it later." Seda then asks, "Tonight, are we going?" Mahira interrupts, "Yes, sister." We then see Seda with a sorcerer. She tells him she's made up her mind to go through with the ritual and will do anything to erase her humiliation. The sorcerer assures her that her wish will be granted and begins the ritual. He pours magical water over her head, and after a while, her face becomes clear. Seda looks at herself in the mirror and smiles with joy. Outside, Mahira is seen hearing Sorcerer laughing. The next morning, the village chief returns home, and the door handle breaks as he opens it. Inside, his wife offers him coffee, but the cup slips from her hand. She tells him she feels uneasy. It's a bad sign. The chief tries to reassure her, saying it's just a cup, but she insists, saying she had a nightmare last night. She asks, "Is it connected to the theft of Srintel's corpse hair, the one you told me about?" The chief replies, "I don't know, but I still can't believe someone would steal hair from a corpse. I'm worried something bad might happen to our village, but let's hope for the best." Just then, their son Audit tells them he's going out with his friends. His mother warns him to be careful, reminding him the village isn't safe anymore. She tells him that someone dug up a grave a few days ago and stole a corpse's hair. Audit laughs it off and leaves. Meanwhile, Audit's friends are discussing the stolen corpse hair when Sada walks by. They're stunned by her beauty and ask if it's really her. She confirms and walks away. Just then, Audit arrives, and they excitedly tell him that Seda has become beautiful. He mocks them, but they insist she's truly changed. Later, Mahira is seen brushing a doll's hair when Seda joins her. Mahira asks, "Why are you smiling?" Seda replies, "I think the men in our village have changed. They used to insult me, and now," Mahira interjects, "What about Addit?" Seda answers, "I'll make sure he bows before me." Just then, Addit arrives at their home and knocks. Seda says, "He came at the perfect time." Mahira mockingly adds, "What a great opportunity for you." Seda leaves and Mahira continues brushing Doll's hair. Seda opens the door and Audit is left staring at her. She says, "Don't believe it? Remember when my face was disfigured? You mocked me and hurt me." Addit begins to apologize and says that he loves her and wants to marry her. Seda asks, "Are you sure?" Addit replies, "Yes." Seda then says, "What belongs to you will be mine." And Addit promises it. Sada tells him to prove it. Next, we see Addit telling his parents that he wants to get married. His parents are delighted at first and ask who the girl is. When Audit says, "Seda," they are shocked and immediately object. they say. Everyone in this village knows who Sada is and how her father died, but Adit begins to argue with them. His mother tries to reason with him, but he snaps back and storms to his room. The scene cuts to Seda asking Mahira, if Adit proposes, would you mind? Mahira replies, if it makes you happy, I support you. But don't forget who he is and who we are. I just don't want you to suffer like I did. She reveals, Aldo, the man I loved, already had a wife. Seda is stunned. Mahira adds, and a daughter? Seda says, I had no idea he was like that, playing with women's feelings. Don't worry, Mahira. Later, Adit proves his love by giving Seda a packet of money for the wedding. She checks it and says, this isn't enough. I don't want an ordinary wedding. If this is all you can offer, find someone else. Adit replies, this is just for the basics. Tomorrow, before the wedding, I'll bring 5 times more. Hearing this, Seda smiles. Meanwhile, Adit's mother discovers that her jewelry and money are missing. She tells her husband, who immediately suspects Adit. Just then, Adit arrives, and an argument breaks out. He asks, do you have any proof I took it? His father insists he's the one who did it, and even raises his hand. Adit storms out. The next day, we see a girl heading to Seda's house. Suddenly, she appears to be possessed and enters the house. Inside, Seda is seen eating raw meat in a disturbing manner. Just as the girl is about to open the door, Seda senses it, and Mahira stops the girl. Mahira says, let's practice in the yard. Get ready and wait for your friends. Then, in a flashback, we see a woman carrying a flower pot. Seda accidentally crashes into her, breaking the pot. In anger, the woman slaps Seda and then pushes her. Sada falls onto the broken pot, and a shard pierces her cheek. Back in the present, the same woman is about to eat her meal when her noodles suddenly turn into insects, and she throws them away in disgust. We then see Mahira teaching the children a dance. Meanwhile, a sorcerer is performing a ritual, and its effects begin to show on the woman. She dies, and a clump of hair comes out of her mouth. Later, Sada vomits a clump of hair in front of the sorcerer. He says, you managed to kill the person you hated. Is that enough? Seda replies, no, there's still one more. The sorcerer responds, do whatever you want, and hands her more hair, instructing her to chew it. Seda looks at the hair and follows his instructions. Next, we see Adit desperately searching for money in his house. Eventually, he finds some property papers. Just then, his father arrives and tries to stop him, but Adit pushes his parents aside and runs out. His father shouts, is this because of that cursed woman, Seda? Adit angrily yells at him not to speak ill of her. His father tries to snatch the papers, but Adit shoves him away and warns them not to interfere in his marriage. Suddenly, hair are seen entering the house and then wraps around Adit's leg, and something strange begins to happen to him. It feels as if someone is trying to strangle him from the inside. His parents scream for help, and the grave diggers nearby hear their cries. Eventually, Adit collapses and dies, a clump of hair emerging from his mouth. Meanwhile, Seda is shown vomiting a similar clump of hair in front of the sorcerer, smiling. The sorcerer appreciates her. We then see someone entering Aldo's house and strangling him. He jolts awake, gasping for breath, realizing it was just a dream. Suddenly, he hears the sound of furniture being dragged outside and goes to check. He picks up a wooden stick and cautiously moves forward. Just then, the lights turn on, and he sees Seda. Shocked, he drops the stick and spots his daughter Dara unconscious. As his wife holds Dara in her arms, he starts crying. Aldo suddenly jolts awake again. His wife asks if he had another nightmare. Still shaken and confused, Aldo feels a moment of relief before rushing to Dara's room, only to find her missing. Meanwhile, Seda is seen handing Dara a doll, saying it's a gift for her. Dara accepts it, and Seda walks away. Just then, Aldo and his wife rush to Dara and ask her where the doll came from. Dara replies, it's a gift from the auntie. She went that way. They then hurry back inside. Seda then approaches Mahira and thanks her for helping her become who she is now. She says that those responsible have finally received the punishment they deserved. Just then, the doll's eyes glow red, and we see Rati waking up Dara. She carries her down from the bed. Meanwhile, Aldo wakes from his sleep and notices that his wife is missing. Alarmed, he rushes to Dara's room and sees Rati strangling their daughter. He tries to intervene, but Rati pushes him away. Despite his efforts, Ratish kills Dara. Aldo breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably over the loss of his daughter. Suddenly, Rati's legs get entangled by strands of hair, which begin to tighten and strangle her. She collapses and dies as well, leaving Aldo devastated and in tears. We then see Aldo at the graves of his wife and daughter. One of his friends, Farhan, tries to console him, but Aldo, overwhelmed with guilt, says, "The deaths of my wife and daughter were not natural. I can't forgive myself. I have to finish what I started. I need to meet someone I once hurt." They then arrive at Adit's house. Aldo tells Farhan that he used to live there and considered them like family, but everything has changed now. Aldo calls out from outside, but when no one responds, he finds the door ajar. As they enter, Farhan remarks that something unusual seems to have happened in the house. Inside, they find Adit's mother asleep in a wheelchair. Aldo gently wakes her, but she panics and pleads, "Don't kill me!" Aldo calms her down and tells her who he is. Eventually, she recognizes him and hugs him, asking for his help. When Aldo asks what happened, she tells him, "A demon did this." The village chief is also seen nearby, now mentally unstable. Adit's mother explains that ever since Adit's tragic death, the chief speaks nonsense all day. Aldo is shocked to hear that Adit is dead. She tells Aldo that she became paralyzed without any known illness, and that Adit suddenly turned violent and short-tempered. He even stole all their wealth just to marry Saida. Aldo, confused, asks, "Saida, who?" She warns him, "This village is no longer safe. You should leave. There's a demon here, and strange deaths keep happening." We then see Mahira practicing her dance, while Sada approaches her and says, "There are guests who will interfere. I must drive them away." Mahira continues dancing, unfazed. Meanwhile, Aldo confesses to Farhan that he made a terrible mistake. He had an affair with Mahira, despite already having a wife and child. He reveals that Saida is Mahira's older cousin, and that Mahira has lived in Saida's house since childhood. Farhan concludes that this indicates a strong bond between Mahira and Saida, and that this connection may be linked to the mysterious deaths occurring in the village. They go to Saida's house and call out for Mahira. Saida stops Mahira and says, "Let me handle this. You don't deserve to be involved with a disgusting traitor." Then she steps outside to confront them. Aldo says, "Whoever you are, I just want to see Mahira." Saida replies, "Mahira can't meet anyone, especially a man like you." Aldo shouts, "Mahira, I'm here with good intentions," and tries to go inside, but Sada blocks him. Saida says she's sick, physically and mentally, and no medicine can cure her. Aldo pleads with her, but Saida mocks him for having an affair while being married. Frustrated, Aldo yells, "Let me just see her!" But Farhan intervenes, calming him down and pulling him away. Before they leave, Saida warns them, "If you come here again, you will face the consequences," and slams the door shut. On their way back, Aldo says, "As far as I remember, Saida's face was disfigured." Farhan replies, "I sensed a negative aura in that house too." Just then, Aldo notices something suspicious and quickly stops, spotting the gravediggers following them. He confronts them, asking, "Why are you following us?" Udin says, "Sadeh is very dangerous." Aldo presses, "What's wrong with her?" Farhan steps in and says, "Meet us tonight at the village chief's house. Bring the villagers. This matter needs to be resolved." With that, they leave. Later, Aldo confides in Adit's mother. He too lost his wife and daughter under strange circumstances. He says, "I think it's all connected to my past mistakes." Adit's mother asks, "Is it related to Mahira?" He replies, "Maybe. We're trying to find out who's behind all this." Just then, Farhan enters and informs that the villagers have arrived. At the gathering, a villager claims many here have suffered from black magic. "I believe someone from Saida's family is behind it." Farhan asks for proof. Another villager says, "I've seen Saida at Kaye Zhang's house." The sorcerer, Udin adds, "Could this be linked to Srintal's shaved corpse and the hair-related black magic?" The crowd grows restless. People begin shouting, "We should burn them!" Meanwhile, Mahira is seen alone with the doll, gently running her fingers through its hair. At that very moment, another man in the village dies under strange circumstances. Farhan quickly calms down everyone and says that they can't take the law into their own hands. Aldo adds, "If they're guilty, we'll hand them over to the authorities." Suddenly, a man screams and vomits blood. Another begins choking. Aldo silently walks away from the chaos. Udin alerts Farhan, and they chase after him. We then see Aldo standing on a bridge, preparing to jump. Farhan stops him just in time, bringing him to his senses. Aldo, still dazed, asks, "What is he doing here?" Farhan replies, "We need to go to Ki Ajing's house." They then leave together. The scene cuts to Ki Ajing Seda, listening to the chaos outside the house. Shouts of "burn them" fill the air. Aldo and Farhan arrive, and Farhan steps in to stop the mob. Meanwhile, inside, Seda asks Ki Ajing, "What should we do now?" Ki Ajing replies coldly, "I don't care. This is the risk we took. Kill or be killed." Aldo tries to enter, but Farhan stops him. Aldo pleads, "Let me in. I've already lost my family." Farhan decides to go in instead. Inside, Ki Ajing warns Sada, "If anyone enters, I'll kill them." From outside, Farhan calls out to Ki Ajing, saying he wants to talk to keep everyone safe and under control. Farhan enters cautiously, but Ki Ajing stabs him. Injured, Farhan stumbles back out, and the villagers rush him to the hospital. Ki Ajing emerges with a knife to Seda's throat, declaring, "I won't die alone." He kills her and flees. As Aldo and the villagers give chase, Ki Ajing refuses to surrender, shouting, "I'd rather die!" before leaping off a bridge to his death. It is then revealed that the woman who had cut Srintal's corpse's hair is Mahira. She switches on some music and begins to dance. Then a letter is shown, written by Sada's father to Sada. It reads, "To my child, Sada, by the time you read this, I will no longer be by your side. I'm sorry I couldn't heal the wound on your face." In a flashback, we see Seda angrily snapping at Mahira when she asks about the scar. Seda calls her an orphan. Later, while Mahira is eating fruit, Seda snatches it from her and slaps her. The letter continues, "I want to remind you, your wound will only heal when you grow up." It's revealed that Seda's father used black magic to kill the man whose wife caused Seda's facial injury. One day, the villagers discovered this and beat him to death. As he lay dying, he handed a letter to Mahira and asked her to give it to Sede. The letter continues, "The only person who can heal your wound is Ki Ajing, my old friend. Find him, he will treat your wound." In the present, we see an almirah creak open. Mahira turns and the doll appears, haunting her. With this, the movie ends here. This film serves as a haunting reflection on the consequences of societal pressure and personal obsession. It warns of the dangers of letting external judgment define one's self-worth and the horrors that can result from vengeance. The doll that haunts Mahira shows that the curse cannot be escaped, a symbol of how dark actions come with grave consequences. Like Seda, Mahira becomes a victim of the very evil she sought to use, showing that revenge and forbidden power often backfire. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a scare. Until next time, stay spooky.